So my favorite amendment's the 10th Amendment. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. That amendment was written to constrain the federal government from growing too large. And for those of us that believe in the Constitution, we believe in a small government and delegating or pushing decision authority and powers to the lowest level possible, state government or local government. Reformed libertarian. I am a free market capitalist, and that's been good to me, Adam Smith et al., and believe the only rules we need are don't hurt other people and don't take their stuff. But when Adam Smith wrote The Wealth of Nations, he was an ethicist, and it was supposed to be a social solution. And he had no vision of how economies would scale to Walmart's, GE Aerospace, the concept of a Fortune 500 company. Along the way, these large companies lost the moral responsibility that is the underpinning of a free market. That's why I'm chatting with you today. I'm watching the various political movements, the Tea Party movement, the Coffee Party movement, and trying to figure out where I fit. On the surface, the Tea Party says a lot of good things. Free markets, small government, lower taxes. But that's yesterday's story. So I'm looking for a candidate or a movement that understands those are good things, but puts them in the context of today's business reality. We start out with very liberal, high ideals about what government can do for us, and then we get older and acquire a touch of wealth and suddenly realize, well, I'm going to have to pay for that. And then we get to where I am now in my early 60s and realize, well, maybe it's okay to pay for some of that. But what? For example, healthcare. One of my favorite issues. The reason I'm interested in the Coffee Party movement, because healthcare was mentioned. The old conservative Al would say, well, wait a minute, in free markets, we need to let the markets sort that out. But we know the free markets and their ability to influence legislation has significantly compromised the free market healthcare industry. So I'm suddenly starting to see government's role as a regulatory role. Many states like Georgia are dominated by one healthcare company. We need to break that up. Same way with the financial industry. Free market capitalist here? Good heavens, we don't need regulation of the financial industry. Pragmatic, reformed free market person, wait a minute. These folks broke the ethical underpinnings of a free market by coming out with these new, very risky, questionable financial products, hiring mathematicians and statisticians to create products that not even the people that sold them could understand. So government regulation, to me, is the answer. Immigration is the responsibility of the federal government. We do need immigration reform, and I'm not sure exactly what that looks like. And we also have to recognize the reality of the number of immigrants in this country, undocumented immigrants in this country, and the fact that we just can't put them all on buses back to wherever they came from. Our economy needs these people, both as an economic engine because they buy things and pay taxes, as a labor force to do the jobs we don't want to do. The government has a role in coming up with scientifically based standards to apply to industry to try to reduce our carbon emissions. The people I know well are not really in the Tea Party. To me, the Tea Party is a fringe organization. It's people that don't really understand the issues, being exploited by people who really don't care about the issues but have some economic or political gain by standing up and providing leadership. I do believe that the government should spend less frivolously, spend less for political gain, spend less in response to lobbyists who influence and craft and in many cases write legislation, to leave money in the products of American consumers. Small business, while I'm out of the large business, the Fortune 500 world, I recognize small business is the engine of our economy. Intuitively, no. It is not the government's responsibility to create jobs. But then we see Haiti on television and the efforts we're going to save Haiti. The financial meltdown, in my opinion, was an economic Haiti. And we had to take extraordinary measures just to keep this country afloat. And the fact is, they appear to have worked. I mean, we dumped large amounts of money in the economy to create jobs, much of it spent wastefully or whatever, but the fact is, it worked. We bailed out the AIGs of the world. It worked. We were this close to failing as an economy. We were this close to China considering going off the dollar and going to the euro, which would have totally devalued, which is actually a good thing to some people, but would have totally devalued our dollar overseas. So it worked. So am I going to criticize what they did? It's sort of like being someone who made it into a hospital in Haiti. No, it saved us. But I want to get out of that as quickly as possible because the debt that was created still has the potential to sink us, and we're still doing earmarks like crazy. I consider some of the activity by CEOs involved in the financial meltdown to be treasonous. And we need laws, we need rules to punish people who actually put our country at risk. The dynamic of the Tea Party bothers me, particularly back when they had the town halls for the health care debate. And rather than going there to ask questions or discuss things, the Tea Partiers went to prevent dialogue and discussion. You may remember that. And that has been, in my opinion, their operating model. Not to communicate, discuss, or to look for common ground, but to polarize and prevent achieving common ground. Tea Party's a risk to the Republic to me because they're preventing us having the discussion that, like, for example, health care. We both agree there are millions of Americans who need health care. There are various ways of delivering that, some free market bias all the way to a public option. But there's also an answer in the middle, and until we get to the middle, we won't get a solution. And the Tea Party's not going to get us there. It frightens me that Steele is talking to the Tea Party, perhaps attempting to partner with them. And I can only hope that the fact that most Americans, I believe, are independent voters like myself, I hope that that makes more room for independent voters to seek out and find new candidates. The fringe may bring certain issues to the public's attention, but it's the middle that actually solves those issues. And it's usually compromise, like health care. It'll be much less than we expected, but it'll be something and something we can build on.